All right. Looks like we're back in business after being on the road for 3 weeks. How's it going, everybody? I'm going to play a little intro just to let people come in. We haven't been on in so long. It's been 24 days. I'll be right back. Thank you for all your love and support and contributions. We made it back by the seat of our pants. But we have a Soulogy bus. Thank you, Debbie, from Apache Junction, New Mexico. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Let me just play the intro and then I'll be right back. We are live. Morgan's here. She's about to come on with me. She told me I smell like a goat's ass. I haven't. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Well, we just got home. We've been driving for what? 3 days?
28 hours.
28 hours. We've been driving and we came home, and before we left, we were setting up the studio. Really, she was. And because, I can't do stuff like that. And it was too hot to actually broadcast from here. And but when we got back, of course, it's much. I like that comment, by the way. Whoever wrote that. That's funny. But anyway, so yeah, it was too hot for us to be broadcasting down here. So this is our studio. Tomorrow, Morgan's going to paint that wall back there black. And we're going to start broadcasting from here. But there's a few things I just wanted to go over because, there's been so much support. And again, Soulogy is just a reflection, a small reflection, like we all are, of the universe, adding frequencies to an ever-expanding vibration, bringing in 5D frequencies, which includes a lot of things. It includes collaboration and co-creation. It includes what I call 5D commerce, or at least what the Arcturians has given me. And that includes paying it forward. It's on the honor system, and it's all about gifting. And so, we're living examples, all of us. And this whole thing with the bus is a representation of collaboration, co-creation, the abundance frequency, and that type of thing. So the way this all started was, I guess, 3 days ago. We left 3 or 4 days ago. I can't remember now. I think it was 4 days ago. We left Sedona. We had an incredible time there. I think it was about 22 or 23 or 24 days. We had some great collaborations with the people at Vibrational Empowerment Network, who are dear brothers and sisters to us. Thank you, Jade Lyons and Esteban Love and Ty Hudnall and Serena Smith and so many people that came by. They came by the studio, and we just broadcast, and told them, just come by whenever you want to. And so many things happened. We saw my brother William Melchizedek and Kalana Molnar. There was just so many things that happened. We connected with so many different sacred union frequencies, including androgynous individuals who are carrying the same frequency. There's so many stories to tell. And I know that the people at Vibrational Empowerment Network are putting together quite a bit of footage. We've got Marina, who's putting footage together for us. She's put out a few different little videos, little snippets. But there was just so much that went on. And it is about the individual experience, the experience of Morgan and I, the couple, the experience of all the people that came together over there. But it's also about the collective, because as the individual goes, so goes the collective. So this energy that we're able to, thanks to all of you, your love and support and contributions that allow us to keep doing this every single day by the seat of our pants. And I mean that. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, we literally rolled into town with $136 but we have a bus and we have a dream, and we're all thriving and expanding and accelerating and moving through this transition we call ascension, which Morgan's higher self has always said is really growing up. So we're all growing up together, and it's fantastic. It's incredible. So many connections were made in Sedona that are reflective of what's happening on a collective level. This is a really good time to take stock in all the work that you've done on yourself. It's a really good time to pull up anyone and anything that makes you uncomfortable, that triggers you, and to take that to the 0 point over and over and over again. This is a practice I learned from Morgan 5 years ago. Well, actually about 3 years ago. She started talking to me about 5 years ago, but until she came over here, I didn't really understand it. But it works, and it's true, because it takes into consideration the most important aspect: the human is the hero. Everything has to be run through the human. It doesn't matter how much we can light language or channel, or who we can channel, or who we're connected to, or who's talking to us, because truly all of those energies and consciousnesses that are communicating with us and coming through us are aspects of ourselves. And now we're embodying this. And, I remember about 5 months ago when we were down in Florida, and everybody knows we put our hands together every night and we see what happens. And we always have, of course, just continuing activations and downloads and such and experiences. But I remember after one time I told her, I said, "Oh my God, can you imagine what's going to show up in our bedroom now, because we've expanded so much?" And she said, "I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is going to be us. It's not them anymore. It's us. And the only way it can be us, the you, the me, the we, is if we embody the human hybrid soul. The human is front and center. The human is the hero. And that's the truth. And this is how this thing rolls. We are conscious here 99% of the time. Our consciousness is aware, and it's changing. I'll give you that. But 99% of the time, we're conscious as a human being first and foremost. And it looks like we have, with that consciousness, maybe 1% or maybe not even that much of our total consciousness, of all of our multidimensional aspects. There's a reason for that. And the reason for that is that the human is the epicenter. The human is the center of this entire universal correction. And no one or no thing is going to come in and save us and align us and balance us and all that stuff. Is it going to happen? Is there a collective ascension? Absolutely there is. There's no doubt about it. This is all bigger than us. This cycle of cycles, people talk about the 26,000 years and the 13,000 years and the 6,000 years. No doubt that there is a power greater than all of us that we are a part of that is not complete without us, just as we are not complete without it. But there's an opportunity here that we can maximize the potential by doing the work within ourselves, by aligning, by zero pointing each and everything. There is nothing separate from us. And as long as we carry that frequency of separation, we're going to be minimizing our potential. So we're all in this together. And I'm, as everybody knows, I'm a big believer in that the highest activations, channelings, and downloads come from the human speaking to the human. And of course, I love doing that in front of our brothers and sisters and watching people, including myself, transform in front of everybody, because it's not the words we speak, it's the actual energy that we see in motion, spiritual inertia, transforming, moving to a higher ground where we actually benefit from each other. We see each one another transforming their lives. And I know, because I've received a lot of messages over the years, pre-Morgan, at least in the physical plane, pre-Morgan, I was, in my original studio. I thought it was me. I was told over and over again by my team that it's not about you. It's about all of the people and the energies that make up this energy called Soulogy, which is a reflection of the universe adding frequencies to an ever-expanding vibration. And what I'm trying to say is, many people have written me over the last 2 or 3 years since Morgan's physically come into my life, and we've gone beyond a virtual relationship on the internet, like so many of us have benefited from. But when she came over in 2017, and from that point forward, I've gone through a real transformation, and there's no doubt about it. And I think if there's anything that I would point to, and I feel like that there's always more to be done. There's more to align. There's more to learn. There's more expansion. There's more balance to be brought forward. More zero pointing to be done. But if there's anything I could point to that I can feel a little bit of pride in, is that people writing me and telling me, we've watched you transform on camera over these 5 or 6 or 7 years. And of course, the reason for that is because of the woman that I'm married to and the divine feminine that I incarnated and manifested in my own life. And again, this is all energy, and I think it's very indicative of what's happening in the world today. Often I look at what our path has been, Morgan and I, to include even the past 3 or 4 days, which was driving 28 hours and, just having enough to make it, and just trusting the universe. But if I look at our journey, it's reflective of what's happening on a collective level. And I know we get caught up in, male and female. And I know we can also get caught up in masculine and feminine, divine masculine, divine feminine. These energies live in all of us. And yes, they pretty much fall in line with our physical gender, and not always. But my point is that there is a real divine union occurring on this earth realm that we all have a hand in. Don't think that you don't have an influence on what's happening on the collective, because it is real. Never underestimate the power of one unique and equal soul, especially your own, because one soul can change this world. And now we live in a time when there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of Buddhas and Jesuses and Magdalenes and Kuan Yins that are coming out, and especially this year. And I have to say too that, one of the things, of course, being a shadowed, connected but shadowed male in a physical body, having the journey that I had that so many of the brothers can share, I have a real stake in understanding what that transformation takes. And it's been very difficult to understand why there was such a difference between the masculine and the feminine, or the male and the female. Well, what I'm starting to understand now is that it's all about energy, and some of us have more of one than the other, and so on. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that we have lived for these last few thousand years, and how many incarnations we've had. The earth itself has lived through this period where there's been a patriarchal imprint impressed upon all of us that's affected each and every one of us, and further blinded us, and further created illusion in our lives, and distortion and distraction. And I think we're moving into a space now where we're all starting to understand that this feminine energy is what's been missing. It's what's been minimized. And And this is the path to divine union and sacred union and all the things that go with it, to include the expansion of our own souls and the expansion of our collective soul, which we might call the multiverse or the universe or God or source or goddess or whatever you want to call it. But the bottom line is that this divine marriage within each and every one of us is entirely attainable. The universal energy is supporting all of us in this alignment. It's rooting for us, all of our multidimensional aspects, our galactic and angelic family, the entire multiverses are sitting on the edge of their chair, and they're absolutely amazed because they can't believe how far we've come, how fast we've come, and they have no idea how far we're going to take it. And the truth is we don't either. But what we do know is that we're in a quantum field now, and as a result of that, we understand that what thoughts we carry forward is what's actually going to be our experience on an individual level, but also on a collective level. So I would encourage each and every one of you to do what so many are starting to do here in 2020, particularly the feminine energies, particularly for the most part, the feminine energies that are physically a female gender. That have been in the background for so long, and I'm talking 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years, and you've seen some of those people on the 2,350 shows we've done on Soul Speaks 5D who have stepped up and have said, this has been my experience. I've been estranged from my family. I've been living hand to mouth. I've been following my guidance. I've been doing grid work. I've been channeling. I've been downloading. I've been anchoring and embodying. And I've been doing this without any recognition, any notoriety. And the truth is, most of them don't even want to step forward and have that type of attention on them. But so many of them that have come on this year and so many of them that I've talked to have said, you know what, I know I have to do this. And I have to do this for what is, as Morgan pulled down a few weeks ago, what is the real Trinity energy, which is service to self, service to the collective, and service to humanity, all being one and the same. And that's the right frequency of alignment. And so I just want to honor these folks that are stepping up, these women that are stepping up, because they have been leading the way, and everybody knows that. But the thing that I'm starting to come into now, especially after being in Sedona, is understanding that now the true masculine, the true divine masculine frequency is starting to step up, and you're seeing a lot of that in men, and they're starting to step up. And it's a whole different picture than what we might think of, the old warrior and the alpha male and the Billy Badass and all that stuff. You know, this is a more powerful consciousness. These particularly, primarily males that have carried the journey of the divine of the masculine, from a distorted masculine, transforming and alchemizing and becoming this new frequency on the earth. She's done it. When I say she, I'm talking about a consciousness. I'm talking about the mother goddess energy, the divine feminine energy. She's led the way. It's been a very bold move that they've made, that energy is made. And it's not, it seems like it's been made primarily, and it has, in those that are physically incarnated as females. But it's also affected the feminine in men like me. And I am much more in touch with my feminine aspect today than I ever have been. And there's no way I could have understood it unless I had continued to make the strides and follow the lead of those that are incarnated primarily as females, that have made this step, that have taken this step, that have pushed through the ancestral lineage of suppression and murder and rape and just being minimized. I mean, it's affected everything within our lives, including, do you open a door for a woman, or do you not open a door? How do you address a woman? Or all these things where they've had to contend with, not even understanding it on a conscious level, they've had to contend with, why are they holding back? There's been a reason for that, but now they have an environment, and I think Soulogy is a reflection of that, where they can come out, know they're supported, know they're taken care of, know that they're not going to be ridiculed or attacked. and they can come out and show their true strength. And by virtue of that, you're starting to see the masculine energy rise next to them. And I'm living proof. I still have work to do. I'm in, as everyone knows, in a divine union, a sacred union with Morgan, and our relationship has been clearly aligned with what's happening on a collective level. So make no mistake about it. Each and every one of us is moving into the potential divine union within ourselves if we haven't hit it already, or at least hit a point where we're starting to see some results from it. Those results include the frequency of abundance. And abundance is another thing that has changed in its definition with what we used to call abundance or consider abundance in the old 3D before we woke up and before we started transitioning. What I'm talking about is even our journey. If I look at the last 3 weeks, I mean, we left Sedona. We basically had enough to get over there. We have so many people to thank. I don't want to start naming them because I know I'm going to forget people, but so we went over there and we had been gifted about 7 days by a beautiful sister, Ashley Lee, and her husband, Marvin, to stay in a condo in the village of Oak Creek, which is just south of Sedona. And so after that, we had an opportunity to have an event on the 19th of last month, and we would have to go earlier. And so at the same time, somebody sent us a few $100s for our lodging in Sedona, and we offered it to our brother and sister and said, hey, is there a possibility we could come earlier and we'll pay you for it? And we did that. So there we go with the intentions of an equal energy exchange. That's what happened. We got over there. We had a day of rest. We get up the next morning and we're driving to the event and on the 19th, and our car blows up. But we chilled out, we went back to the house. We got a ride from some people that were from Apache Junction, New Mexico. Now, this is relevant because what ended up happening was on the day we left, 5 hours out of Sedona, now we're in New Mexico, and this lady, this beautiful sister, Debbie, hit us up. And I think maybe you might have seen the video I made in the car, in the bus. She's 66. She'd had a stroke. She was in the hospital 4 months. She saw a couple of our shows. She's only been following Soulogy for about 3 weeks, and she said, Spirit told me to give you this bus. And she lived in Apache Junction, New Mexico, the same place that the couple that helped us when our car blew up came from. This is synchronicity. This is, there's more than 1111 and 5555 and the numbers and all that. More and more people are starting to trust the synchronicities. They're not coincidences. This is the real deal. And, the whole trip over there was just really just an experience of faith and an experience of spontaneous creation. And I think one of to me, I guess the cherry on top of the ice cream sundae was right before we left. I think it was a day or two before we left. The folks at Vibrational Empowerment Network decided to put up an impromptu little concert, and it was quite incredible because we got over there. They were just setting up. There was about 10 minutes before they started the show, and Jade handed me the microphone and said, "Start this off." Like, I didn't even know what to do. There was these incredible musicians that were on the stage who had done this kind of thing a lot. I never really had. And we opened it up with like a 15-minute spontaneous, improvisational, incredible, magical, alchemical, expression that was pure collaboration and co-creation. And it was quite fascinating because there was just this incredible energy there. And then at the end of the show, Shakina Rose, our dear sister, came and with her beloved Tim Smith, and I said, "You want to get up and do some light language or some harmonic light language," which she does. And she said, kind of reluctantly, "Yes, I'll do it," because she's a little shy. and she actually just blew it away. It was incredible. They backed her up. I mean, they followed her voice, and it was just incredible. And the reason I'm saying this is because these things are the new frequency. The new frequencies are abundance, which is far beyond dollars. It's gifts, it's intention. Soulogy has really been, just moving along with these contributions that are $11.11 and $15 and $7.77 and $20 and it's incredible how we always have what we need on the day we need it. And I know that's reflective of what's available to everyone out there. I know it is, and because it wouldn't be happening to us. Lilia Collins, and again, this is another example of what I'm talking about. She says, "Wow, I thought that was rehearsed. How beautiful!" This is what I'm talking about. Abundance is not rehearsed. We don't go work somewhere for a bunch of years and then get a retirement, and we consider that abundance. It's a creative thing. And that little concert, is a great representation of what I'm talking about, because here this beautiful sister thought we had rehearsed it. We hadn't. This was literally just done by the seat of our pants. And it was so mind-blowing that I forgot the words to the only soul speak out of about 200 that I memorized. But they covered it pretty well. But this is the new energy. This is what's going on. It's really removing. We've I think all done a lot of shadow work and inner work to the point where the past doesn't really have the attachment to us that it used to. It's not as much or even a handicap at all to us anymore. So we've kind of dealt with that, or at least we're in the trajectory of diminishing and even removing, totally erasing the stigma of the past, the conditioning of the past, the traumas of the past. And then, of course, our other fixation's always been on the future. We're going to go to heaven. We're going to go to nirvana. We're going to do this. We're going to do that when I get a new job, when I meet the right person, and all that stuff, when I move to the right place. But that's been removed too. And we're being, by force or flow, put into a space of being present in the present. Presence in the present. And I know some of these things sound cliche, but they're not cliche. They're really not. It's really a simple, profound truth. There doesn't need to be a lot of words. And I think we're starting to find that too, because the energy is speaking really, really loud to all of us, not only in terms of not being able to bullshit ourselves anymore and being honest with ourselves, because what's happening is if we ignore things, the universe keeps coming back and giving it to us a little bit harder. But I think at the same time, we're starting to recognize the energy in other people. We're also starting to recognize sovereignty in ourselves and sovereignty in other people. And sovereignty in all these things have much more meaning, really to me, the most meaning in terms of the moment by moment human interactions and human experience. And what I mean by that is we talk about all this fluffy love and light stuff, and we have these incredible connections, and that's all part of us. We all came into this thing with all of that. But we came into this thing to awaken to that, to remember all of that, but not just to remember it, but then to be put in a situation where we can now increase and expand what we've already been. And this is what I'm talking about. It's high time that we start to really embody and anchor the truth. And the truth is, there is no death. There is nothing that can hurt us. It doesn't matter what the world tells us. It doesn't matter what the external shows us. It doesn't matter what threats. It doesn't matter quarantines and mandates and all these things that have happened this year. It doesn't matter. We all know that they have a false flag frequency. We can feel it. And we can take stock in the fact that we're eternal souls and that we came here to expand the universe by expanding ourselves, because they're the same thing. Okay? And like Morgan got a couple of months ago, this Trinity energy can be described in a lot of different ways. But one of the ways that I really like what she pulled down is that when you can take an action, carry a thought, speak, whatever it may be, create an expression, whatever it may be, and in that expression, in that action, there is a perfect unity of service to self, service to others, and service to humanity. And I would say that that is service to the universe, because they are all one and the same. There's no more agenda. There's no more reason for suspicion and paranoia. Just like there's no place for healing, because there is no need to heal in the frequency that we're pulling down. All of our bodies are transforming. I think there's evidence of that. If you look around the world and you look at some of the things that have been said from the establishment, particularly the medical industry, where they're saying nobody's coming to the hospital anymore. Well, I know that part of that must be because they don't want to be diagnosed with COVID or whatever the case is. But I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that people are becoming more self-sufficient, whether they're conscious of it or unconscious of it. They're becoming more self-reliant. They're becoming their own healers. They're taking control of their energy. And again, some of those folks might be in what we call light worker circles, and some of them might not be. But there's something going on in this world. And there's no doubt that is having a multi-dimensional influence on all timelines in all dimensions. So this is, to me, the human hybrid soul, that universally seated, universal healing frequency is now rising to the occasion and being recognized by the universal community as an equal. Why? Because the human hybrid soul is beginning to look at itself as an equal to all these aspects that we have had interactions with in our personal journeys, to include elementals and galactics and angelics and other divine essences. We are on the same, we have the same stature, we're on the same ground as all of those energies, because all of those energies make us up. And the last thing I want to say is that, I remember receiving a couple of 2-3 years ago, and I can't remember exactly, and I've said this before, but I remember that, because there was a couple of years I was shown like Galactic Wars, and I went through a lot of this stuff for a couple of years, and I didn't really understand it all. And I had a lot of questions, and I just remember one day getting this download, and the download was, when you, and you being any of us, get through this trip, you will be a universal healer like there hasn't been one, because this earth has been seeded by all of these different consciousnesses, and those consciousnesses live within ourselves. And as we convert and continue to raise the level of our awareness and our energy, and bring our DNA back to where it was and beyond, we are unifying and zero pointing all of these elements of the universe into that soul highway, into the 0 point. And as I was told 2-3 years ago during that download, I was told that we would be able to go anywhere in the universe and carry the code necessary to bring further alignment wherever we might go. So we're going to be getting back on the saddle tomorrow. Okay. We're going to be getting back on the saddle tomorrow. We're going to be broadcasting Saturday, Sunday, through Friday. So that'll be the next, what's today? 8 days. So that'll be the next 8 days. We got Carol Talon tomorrow, Light Star. We got Kim Christensen, Hillis Pugh, Susan Amara, Seth Lee Pruzansky. It just goes on and on and on. A couple of things real quick I just want to get to as well. First of all, I'll say this first before I get out of here. Hey, Carrie and Michael Fox, what's up? Does anybody want to come on? Does anybody want to come on with me? We'll just keep this thing going. And also, Morgan brought up a good point. A death energetically for many has occurred in the last week. An aspect of our old self has died. And I know that's been happening at different levels, but I think more than anything, this last little run here in September was a 9, that's completion, and October's a 10, and that's a new beginning. But I think a lot of us and a lot of folks that we've talked to have felt it physically, mentally, emotionally, but certainly it's been noticeable that there's been some aspects of us that have died, and that's not always an easy thing. But I tell you what, it's getting better, it's getting easier, and if anybody wants to come on here, at least one person, and just I'll send you a link, and we can do that. And if not, that's cool too. But we will be on. Oh, I didn't even get to finish that part. Everybody knows, I think, that let's see. Everybody knows that we were able to get David Icon November 18th. And I want to thank Leilani for that. I had approached him, and he never answered. And then she sent him this long introduction, which was basically like the history of Soulogy. Like when she started helping us with the scheduling, she put together this intro letter, and and right after she did that and sent it out to a few people, she reduced it. But I noticed that when he answered it, he had received the long intro letter. So this intro letter talked about everything about Soulogy, and it was incredible. But we're very blessed to have this man on. This man, no matter what you think of him or of conspiracies or of disclosure or of whatever, reptilians or Anunnaki or whatever, this man has, in my opinion, woken up more people in this world than anyone else. And I don't think he's getting enough credit for it. And he's brave and he's courageous. And we will have a discussion with him, a conscious conversation with him that will be like all the other Soul Speak 5Ds. We respect the skills and the abilities and the experiences and the stories. But what's going on right now, in your opinion, whoever that guest may be, on a collective level, but also on a personal level, because to me, there's more code potential in when the individual talks about what's going on with themselves, and I know that's a little bit different and than a lot of these talk shows, but it's worked for us. It's come from the Soulogy consciousness, which does speak to us, which has told us that this is the platform for the voices of the Mother Goddess, and that is for every man, woman, and child, because that's the part of us that has been suppressed. So we're very thankful that David Icke's going to be coming on November 18th at 5 p.m. UK time, and we're going to have a meeting on Sunday, and I'm looking to really work with everybody in the group to put together an elevation of the frequency that we've been putting out. Not that what we've had has been bad, but it's not. It's been fantastic. It's been great. It's been perfect, and I wouldn't change a thing. And what I'm trying to say is that if we're going to continue to be a reflection of what the universe is, we're going to continue to add frequencies to an ever-expanding vibration. We're going to continue to expand and get better. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how the universe grows. And so, but I will promise you this, two things. One, this will always be a free community service. And two, we will always reach out to those folks who have never been on the screen before, who have a story to tell, who have skills and abilities to share, and who have an equal level of importance in this cosmic jigsaw puzzle that we all make. Because remember, the universe is not complete without you, just like you and me are not complete without the universe. Every single one of us is just as important as the other. And I think in general, the human collective is moving into a space of self-respect and self-love. And through that is becoming, in this moment, the greatest creative universal energy in the multiverses. We are finding new ways to expand the universe through an incredible potential of collaboration and co-creation, and it's happening. So the last thing I'll say is the way this stuff works is, to me anyway, in my opinion, is to engage it, is to trust it, is to live it, is to walk the talk. We've done it the other way, and it didn't work. It was a finite. All of our streams from our human experience have been finite. They've had an end, but now we're in a position where we can make it an infinite stream of consciousness that will serve all dimensions, all timelines, and that is in perpetuity. So I would encourage you all to step forward and lock hands and have a unified front. Oneness is oneness. There are no exceptions, and this is the way that we expand. And this is what we came here to do. We didn't just come to wake up. We came to reawaken to what we are, who we are, and what we're a part of, and then to use that to expand. And you're seeing it happen all over the world. And it's going to get more and more attention as the days go by. So, and let's see. Nobody wanted to come on, so maybe we'll do that tomorrow. And I just want to say thank you to everybody for your continued love and support and contributions that allow us to keep doing this every single day. And that's from Morgan and I both. And I also want to say one other thing too is I know I'm the one in front of the camera, but the fact is Soulogy is the frequency of divine union. And that's all there is to it. There's no way in hell that I would be sitting here today. I probably would be on camera, but I wouldn't be sitting here today being part of this incredible vortex if it wasn't for Morgan Lee. And again, Todd Medina and Morgan Lee are energetic or physical representations of the energy that's taking hold in this world. That is divine union, that is sacred union, that is divine marriage, and so I just want to say that Soulogy is a 50-50 proposition right down the middle, and I can tell you a lot of stories about that, and I'll probably do that as time goes on, because I think now that we have this studio set up and the way things are going, I think we're going to be doing a lot of broadcasting. So again, thank you for everything and all your support. And we'll see you tomorrow. We'll be back on the saddle 1 o'clock Eastern time, and then we have one at 3 o'clock Eastern time, and I would imagine we'll do another one after that, maybe something like this, or maybe we can get a round table, get some people to come on, and we'll have a little fun. Thank you, everybody. Peace out.